Okay, maybe the fourth time's a charm. I'm having a horrible time getting the lighting right here so that I can show you something that has some meaning. Here's the setup. Two towers. The one on the right's the parasitic tower, the one on the left is the transmitter tower. The sec I'm using is an 181E. You can see from the board there's a lot more or a higher component count on there. The parasitic tower, let me move the light out, has this red lead on it, this fellow right here. The bottom of the tower, here we go with the light again. Bottom of the tower, the lead comes out, goes into an AV plug. That's the power source for the 181E. The 181E goes to the transmitter tower. Now, what I've done in order to trigger this, to reduce some of the complication that is involved when we get to the second exciter, is I've brought in one lead from a signal generator. There's another red lead. You can see it's not lit at all. I'm putting in less than a volt. You can see the green wire there. That's 4 turns loosely coupled to the transmitter coil. And it's used only to trigger the whole process off. Basically what it does is it excites this coil, which goes into resonance, that jumps across to this coil, which goes into resonance, which produces a voltage that feeds the AV plug, that fires the oscillator up in the exciter, and the whole thing begins to go in a nice big clean circle. Okay, let me show you the spectrum analyzer. Get this light out of the way. Ignore this pulse. This is 0. It should be shifted over here, but I wanted to more or less center everything on here so you could see it. Here's the primary frequency of the oscillator and the side bands off to the left. Interestingly enough, you don't see any upper side bands. This pulse right here, this is from my Wi-Fi transmitter in the lab, so ignore that fellow. Okay, so what I need to do is grab this tuning stick, you know, that I have serious trouble with because I shake like a rabbit or something. And I have to have this extension on it because if you get your capacity, your body capacity, close to the towers, everything goes awry. Okay, let me move this light out of here again. I hate that thing. I'll tell you what, let's shut this light off because we should have enough light if I can see the tower, and I can't. Sorry for jumping around here. I just don't want to try this again. This is, like I said, fourth time's a charm, right? We'll give it a go anyway. Okay, now watch. I'm going to take and tune the output capacitor so that the transmitter coil goes out of resonance. You see that red lead went out. Okay, so that means we're not getting much energy across there. And you can see how much dimmer the white lead is, showing that the exciter is not being powered as heavily. Also look at the signal. The side bands on the left of the primary pulse aren't near what they were before. Okay, let's tune it back in again. There we go. We locked up. We now have communications, information between the transmitter tower and the receiver tower. And you see that red lead again. Okay, let's tune it back out. Gone, right? We still have a little bit of energy coming across though. But look at the difference. Now let's lock it up one more time. Bam! Did you see it snap in there? Look it. Bam! This is what you want. This is the point that everything begins to work in a nice big vicious circle here. We trigger this coil into oscillation, spatial oscillation now, please. It supplies a small amount of energy over here. This coil goes into spatial oscillation and we get feedback back into the exciter. Now, why does it run? Why aren't we violating laws? Because we're grabbing energy out of the lattice right in here as this whole communication goes on. Boy, I'm sure going to hear about this, aren't I? Okay, but anyway, I don't know how else to show it to you. But there's what you have to do, and there's how it works. Now, if you can get this far, you can throw another exciter in there, and you're home free.